Welcome to the home race, the Canadian Grand Prix.
Home for us here in Alberta for the DRS zone. It was quite the Grand Prix. It just finished local time, so it's not the crack of 800 hours in the morning. It's in the afternoon for us, which is great. It was a great race in Montreal, and there's lots to talk about.
Oh, is there ever?
So should we start with the most important thing, or should we start with
you know what? Let's do
the rest of the race?
Let's do a little build up.
Okay.
Let's do a little build up. So let's start with first. Let's go right to free practice and qualifying, and the major incidents there that happened. One, Hamilton wiped out free practice.
Yeah. Did a little tire bumpy in the wall.
But that was okay because that's still free practice. That's not going to hurt your position yet, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then in qualifying, guys were hitting the wall again.
Yeah, reminds me a lot of Monaco. Of guys hitting the wall in practice.
That's right. Mr. Magnussen, which also screwed up his teammate as well.
Yeah, he shredded that pretty good. Again, any parts that are broken, Haas, you want to send this way, I'll give you my address. I know you're just going to throw those wheels and carbon fiber pieces out, so I'll happily take them.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, we'll put it above the picture.
As much as we can hang.
That's right. So that really affected a couple people, but most notably Max Verstappen, who couldn't get his lap in, even though he switched in onto the soft tires to try and get it in time. So it really kind of pooched him.
Yeah, and I never really thought about that until they explained it pre-race. When those last three cars came around the corner with Hulkenberg crashed out, they all had to stop, and the line was a few hundred meters away, and they couldn't cross the line, so they didn't get to move. Because what was that in Q? Was that Q1 that he crashed?
Q3. No, Q2. Q2 was Q2.
Right. I just couldn't remember. So he crashed in that, and then those guys couldn't make it. So then Q3 happens, and
there. Now, again, Lance, come on, man. This is your home race. You can't even get out of Q1 again. 11 races in a row. Out of any place I thought you're getting out of Q1 is in Montreal. That's your home race. That's literally where you're from. And you actually, in your first year, was third in this race.
Yeah, that's on the podium.
Yeah. And you sucked again. Come on, man. I really it's getting harder to cheer for you, bud. Because you're fine in the race. You always move up a few places. You defend well. You drive well. But you suck in qualifying. I don't know what you got to do. Maybe play some Gran Turismo and find out where you can maximize your times. But you got to do something. Something's not working, and you're faster than what you are. And the bullshit about you putting in a new motor, no, you have been consistently slow regardless of the motor. So you need to shape up, my friend. You really do. And that's my coaching lesson for today for you. But moving on from there.
I concur with that, Lancelot. You do well in the races, but qualifying, I know it's difficult. You got to get up there, and then you'll be in the points. I mean, you were right on the cusp of points today, right? Finished 10th?
Yeah.
So you got in the points. Had you qualified a little bit better, you're a little bit further in the points, and then that gives you a chance to pick up one of those all-important extra points for fastest lap.
And podiums and everything.
That's right.
So we're rooting for you, man, but you're making it hard on us. You're like the Blue Jays.
Just another season. Just another season in the AL East.
Okay, let's keep moving on to the race here. Vettel with pole.
Yeah, rips out that fastest lap right at the very end. Shakes things up a little bit.
Yes.
On the grid. Especially Vettel, Hamilton, Leclerc, Bottas, Ricciardo, and Hulkenberg right up in there in the mix at the end of Q3.
Yeah, Renault had a strong qualifying.
And I know Ricciardo's won that race a few years back. Had an awesome shoey with
Patrick Stewart.
With Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
That was an incredible moment in Canadian Grand Prix
the stew
history. Yeah, the stew shoe. So it's good to see them up there as well, especially qualifying good. And they both finished the race.
Yes.
Right next to each other, which was awesome. Good for Renault. Got
Fantastic.
Some points.
That's right. So let's go into the race here. Lights out, and honestly, there wasn't a delay on the green. It was just red, boom, go.
Yeah,
and
it was red.
Yeah,
like hot. like
hot.
really hot.
Yes.
And that was immediately evident as teams started switching out those softs right away for hard tires.
Oh yeah, because the heat was just eating them.
Oh yeah.
Just eating them up.
Getting them all marbly.
The old marbles. But yeah.
Crop dusting, if you will.
Yeah, crop dusting the marbles. So if you guys start pitting early, like 7 laps in, right out of a 70-lap race, and you're like, oh man, that's a 2-pit strategy that early. But their sauce must just been toast. Like
Yeah, from qualifying, and that doesn't surprise me at all. They talked a lot about picking up dust and that sort of stuff on the track, hence the spins in free practice and qualifying. So it doesn't surprise me that those tires were already a little bit worn out, that teams were thinking, all right, maybe we can make this a one-stop strategy. Mm-hmm. But even those teams that pitted after that in those first 10 laps, most of them had to pit again by the end, even on the hards, because they were just running out.
Let's also talk on the start, the flying wings, the flying carbone, if you will.
The carbone stuck in, I think Hulkenberg had to pull a piece out.
He was
like
right
inside the halo. I'm like, what are the chances?
You know, so they had to pit right away there. I think that was on Gasly. Was it not? It was on Toro Rosso's car. I can't remember which one.
Maybe not. I thought I saw the yellow, a Hulkenberg.
No, it flew into Hulkenberg's, but I think the wing was it was off a Toro Rosso car.
No, it was Albon.
Albon. Okay,
right, because he had to go in for that
fin.
fin. He had to go for that fin right away, of course, because they're super fragile, and they get ripped off instantly, and that thing just shattered into a billion little carbon fiber goodies.
Yep.
And now he's in the pits right away.
So the front, when they started, they just kind of shook out right away in, and that was basically kind of how it shook out through positionally wise for the race. But there was some very interesting parts when it came to pit strategy. I thought that when Vettel pitted, it was great timing. Like, he pitted very well, and Ferrari nailed it.
Yes.
Right? And then,
but
however,
I know you're getting to it, so you can get to it.
However, Leclerc's pit strategy was utter dog shit. It was terrible. Leclerc had the opportunity with Ferrari there to get in front of Hamilton. He had a 16 second gap.
Yeah, this is around the 20-ish laps or the 30s.
Yeah. He had a gap that was available, and had he pitted, he would have been into second. He would have. He had there was the opportunity for him to do that, and they delayed him, and I don't know why.
Spoiler alert, did he do that?
No, they did not pit.
Oh, they did not.
Yeah, which kind of ticked me off. I'm like, why wouldn't you pit Leclerc? Because it was like a few laps right after Vettel pitted. I'm like, pit him, put him up in front of Hamilton, because you've got the opportunity, at least the chance to get there, or to put pressure on Hamilton or something. And had they done that, then you could run blocker 1-2 like Mercedes has been doing all year.
Yes, and at this point, Bottas isn't even in the 3 podium spots.
No.
Which is crazy to think, because they've finished on the podium every race so far this year.
That's right. So I thought Ferrari had a big blunder on their pit strategy with Leclerc. I thought they did everything right with Vettel. I think they screwed up with Leclerc. Mercedes ran a smart strategy too, because they're Mercedes and they always do. That's just kind of their thing, right? So yeah. I thought Mercedes ran a pretty good race with Hamilton. But with Bottas, though, Bottas didn't look like he had any pace today.
And he really didn't.
It wasn't impressive at all. It was like Bottas from like a year or two ago, and you're like, what the hell, man?
And even after Mercedes and Ferrari pitted Vettel first and then Hamilton right away, both Ferrari and Mercedes again thought with their other 2 drivers, maybe you should let them wait. And that's exactly the mistake you talked about. Ferrari really should have done it sooner. Yeah. And then Mercedes, knowing that they kept Leclerc out too, were just like, oh, maybe we should wait too. And it really didn't work out, I think, for either of their plans towards the end of the race.
No. I'll give props to Verstappen working his way up the field. He ran a pretty good race too.
Absolutely, he did.
But he couldn't get up into the podiums or the podium placement at all. But I will give my tip of the old hat to Max there especially he had some great passes there. I thought the Bottas pass was
as he always did.
Lefine, it was good.
Now Norris, in betwixt all this passing in the early, even before I think those 20 laps, has a brake failure that puts him right at the end of the pit wall. Now, they only yellow flagged the first sector, which was good, because having the tow truck out there at the end of the pit wall would have been a shmortion. So they leave the car out there.
Yeah.
And that's where it stayed, I think, until the end of the race.
I agree.
I was surprised that Vettel didn't park his car right next to him the way the race finished and where he parked afterwards.
Well, for sure. Well, okay. So now we're gonna get now to the big topic. There was little stuff that was happening all throughout the race and everything like that, but let's talk about the penalty and the incident and how that all shook out. So Hamilton is on Vettel's butt. I think this is lap like 51, 52, somewhere in there. Vettel gets a little drifty in the corners, has to bail into the grass. Comes out of the grass, squeezes Hamilton, or appears to squeeze Hamilton. Okay, still maintains the first place. Now, here's where it gets a little dicey. When you go into the grass, you can't gain a position. They'll automatically knock you back, right? But he's in first, so he's not gaining a position at all. Now, here's the thing. Laps go by, and nothing's under investigation.
And
Nothing.
I'll stop you just for half a second.
Yeah.
In every other race, that incident is looked at immediately.
Immediately.
Carry on.
How the hell are they waiting 3, 4 laps, 5 laps, I think, to investigate this? There's no way. That should have been immediate under investigation right away. It's not like anything else was going on out of the norm from the rest of the race. That was one uncalled for. It should have been immediately, and that's some bad stewardship by the stewards of the race. The FIA, that's no buenos, boys. You got to be on that right
Agreed.
away, because all it does is cause now extra tension, and Ferrari feels that is because of Mercedes complaining that there was an investigation. So result of whatever the investigation result is, automatically it seems biased, skewed, tainted. Automatically.
Yes.
When it should be called right away. Like, hey, it's under investigation.
And watching it live, as soon as it wasn't called right away, very suspicious.
Extremely suspicious.
Why? Why wasn't it called right away?
Why didn't you?
I saw the same thing that everybody else saw who was watching it live.
Yeah.
So what gives? It didn't take you that long to make a decision, but why did it take you that long to investigate it?
Yeah, which was BS. Okay, so the race is continuing on. It's under investigation. Now, obviously they have access to the telemetry and everything, and they determine that there's going to be a 5-second penalty with 15 laps left to go in the race to Vettel that he blocked Hamilton. Now, here's where this has happened in split second. So I'm not blaming the drivers totally, and I am at the same time, because it happens so quick. Okay, but that's your job. Your split second reactions is your thing, right? Okay, so Vettel comes into the racing line. Now, I can't tell if he's coasting or on throttle. I don't have access to telemetry, right? But by the time he hits the racing line, he's on throttle. Okay? Hamilton is seeing what's going on in front of him, and he's seeing that he's coming across. Now, Hamilton's decision is to try and beat him on the outside. And if I was in Hamilton's shoes, you can see him coming. You could have darted around on the other side, you know? But again, it's a split decision. Like, this is a split-second decision. So I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's just kind of how it shook out. Because he had the momentum, he had the speed coming out. Hamilton had the ability to pass him without getting squeezed. Now, Hamilton knows Vettel quite well, and they both know they've been racing against each other, been rivals for quite a long period of time. You know that Vettel is coming out all the way. He has to. He's trying to gain as much speed as he can. You
Correct.
can undercut him there and still get the pass. Now, I'm a Vettel fan, so I'm going to announce my potential bias here, but I think Hamilton could have got around him there without getting squeezed. Now, the matter of the fact is, he got squeezed.
That's
Okay?
right.
So he got squeezed. And there is a potential there for that penalty, but I don't, again, have access to telemetry, so I don't know exactly what the call is. Now, the stewards determined it's a 5-second penalty. For me, I'm going, this could have just been a racing incident. You know? Like, because it happened
Yes.
so quick.
Agreed. I think seeing it as it happened, I think it was a little harsh. Just because you're right. Put yourself in Hamilton's shoes. He has option A or he has option B. And that's only what he's doing. There's option C and D, which are Vettel was doing. So he's saying, okay, I'm going to stay right on the line because I didn't go on the grass. That's option A. And maybe his option C was thinking, okay, Vettel's obviously coming off the grass, so he's going to get out of the way. That didn't happen.
Well, if you were in first, would you get out of the way?
No.
Exactly.
No. No, you wouldn't. However, in that same instance, another race where they call an incident, I really think he just should have given that place back. Because essentially to me, that was more just like he took the safety exit on a runoff because he just went across the grass. He has every right to go back into the racing line because he's trying to win the race as a racer and we want them to race. But 5 seconds on cars that are split seconds of laps and sectors apart, that is almost off the podium.
Yeah, and I agree.
Now as we took some time after the race to come back here and record, I just don't agree with that. I understand Vettel going up and moving the little the post or whatever from first and second place out of the way of Hamilton's car. There's a reason why he went right back to the garage.
Yeah.
And I understand that.
Pissed.
If he would have given, now as a racing fan as well, if they would have just said, you have to give that position back to Hamilton in maybe the same spot a lap later, that would have made for an awesome finish because it would have raced to the end, 1-2, there's 0.2 seconds apart in that area, and they charge him 5 full seconds.
It's just a schmoz how it shook out because they didn't even investigate it right away. That's and that's another issue too, which we talked about. But honestly, it seemed like
it was weird, and it was a weird finish. And Vettel's super pissed, which I don't disagree with him with, because Mercedes didn't finish with one of their drivers on the podium this race, which was off of what they've done.
Yeah, because it was 2
all
Ferraris.
season. And that's how it ends, and it's over now, and it's just like, okay, we're done.
I want to bring
Next
up
race.
The last 5-second penalty was covered a couple of races ago, and it was Verstappen got it. But Verstappen's 5-second penalty was a lot more blatant than this one.
Which pushed him back places and actually pushed him off the podium, right?
Yeah. So, and that's how Vettel caught him. Now, I don't think this one warrants the same penalty as that Verstappen one. This is a different incident. So there is going to be a lot of drama about this, a lot of opinions. I do think Vettel has a case that was an overly harsh penalty. Should they have given him a penalty? Maybe. Should they have given him that harsh a penalty? I don't think so.
And on the basis of we want to see them race and compete, that was too much penalty for that.
And it's not like when Vettel goes in the grass that he's gaining lots of time. He's losing time.
Yes.
He's not. Hamilton is faster.
And again,
on the concrete than on the grass.
A different story is if Vettel comes off the grass and gives her a little of the right foot and smokes Hamilton and hits him and damages his or maybe Hamilton's car. This is a totally different conversation, but it didn't happen that way. What we saw is what we saw, and now we sit here with, I think, the French race being the next one.
Yes.
And
Sacre-bleu.
they always talk on the post show about, this one's going to be talked into the night. This one will.
Oh yeah. We're going to be hearing about this on TSN all week.
Because Ferrari had a chance to go
1-2.
Yeah, 1-2 with the right pit stop and put Mercedes back a little bit and just say, so you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. So, and I understand Vettel's frustration too. I did think Ferrari had a strong showing overall, but it's going to be definitely interesting how it shakes out here. There is some life in Ferrari to cause some competition, but it's almost too late. It's almost too late unless they can totally reverse the gains that Mercedes has, which I don't think they can. I think Mercedes is still in the driver's seat for the championship, everything, but I think the drama from today's incident has more liability not on Vettel or Hamilton, but on the stewards and how they handled it.
Yes.
I think they totally
We
mishandled
all know that referees in every sport have blown calls at major opportune times, whether it's finals or regular season or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Including playoffs.
Yep.
it happens. I don't know if anything will be done on their side because of it, but that was the wrong call.
That was the wrong. Well, yeah. Well, it was also wrong how it shook out.
That's right.
It could have even been the right call under different circumstances, but how it shook out, definitely the wrong way.
Yeah.
Definitely the wrong way. But anyways, that's going to be it for us here. I hope you enjoy the Canadian Grand Prix. Like, subscribe. We enjoy making these videos. It's awesome. We're just a bunch of car nerds that love doing this kind of stuff.
Sorry it's a little long today, but there was a lot to talk about for our only Grand Prix here in Canada this year.
That's right. That's right. Au revoir.
Au revoir. Merci.
See you guys next time on the DRS Zone.
Take care. This is Scotty.
Stretch.
Take care.
See ya.